Ready.
Ramesh.
Good evening, my dear students and the serious ESE aspirants. Congratulations. I hope you wrote this exam well, and let us hope for the best. Here, as a team from ESE Engineering Academy and ESE Online, I myself, B.S. Krishnavarma, and my senior colleagues, friends, and most experienced team, we are going to provide detailed solution for ESE Prelims Electrical Engineering. Okay, so go through these videos and you can always argue through feedback. So I wish all the best. Yes, so this ESE 2025, one of the most prestigious exam conducted by Union Public Service Commission and in the Department of Electrical Engineering. Now let us understand how many questions came. Now with the most accurate data already available in the question paper, it is so evenly divided this time, let me tell you. So the questions weightage is so even, perfectly done, maybe 1 or 2 bits here and there, but you see sir, as a student it is so important that you have to balance all the subjects. Engineering maths 12 questions, electrical materials 12 questions, electric circuits and field 13 questions, electrical electronic measurements 11, computer fundamentals 12, basic electronic engineering 13, analog and digital electronics 12, systems and signal processing 12, control system 13, machines 13, power system 15, power electronics 12. So see how great it has been so evenly divided. So as a student you should always understand that you want such great exam and you want to become an IAS officer or engineering service officer, you have to balance all the subjects, okay. So it is so evenly divided. Then myself BS Krishnavarma, I will be providing the detailed solution on electric circuits and fields. Now this is a question, an AC signal having constant amplitude of 10 volts but variable frequency is applied across a simple low pass RL circuit. Now you know the meaning of low pass. Low pass filter, low frequencies, it allows the output, high frequency it blocks. So in an RL low pass means that inductor is a frequency dependent. So low frequency it should allow. So clearly the network, okay, obviously you know the network will be something like this, low pass RL, okay, low pass RL, okay. You see that is why if you give now low frequency, okay, if you give now low frequency, almost DC, low frequency DC, inductor acts like short, output will come, high frequency open. Now for this he is asking what is the value of inductor. Now if you observe the cutoff frequency for this is R by 2 pi F, 2 pi L, okay. We know bandwidth is inversely proportional to time constant, that formula you can remember, and we know time constant is L by R. So ulta, but omega is R by L, but omega is 2 pi F now, so R by 2 pi L. Then from this he is asking, now he gave them details, you see the details. Now an AC signal having a constant amplitude 10 volts but variable frequency. So this magnitude of this AC signal is constant 10 volts, but this frequency is varying, okay, is applied across a simple low pass RL. The circuit with cutoff frequency of 1 kilohertz, if R is 1 kilo and L will be nearly. So now see, first of all cutoff frequency he gave how much, 1 kilo, 1000 hertz. R how much he gave, that is also 1 kilo, 1000 by 2 pi L. So obviously if you see L is 1 by 2 pi. So if you do 1 by 2 pi, you will almost get this as, okay, 0.159. So that is 159 millihenry, 159 millihenry. So what is the nearest answer for this? 1 by 2 pi you have to understand sir, 1 by 2 pi it is 1.159, that is 159 millihenry, but nearest answer is 159 means 160. So I will go with option D, okay, I will go with option D, but you should remember that bandwidth is inversely proportional to time constant, that is the smarter way to write, and time constant of RL circuit is L by R, so ulta to that way you can remember, okay. So answer is D, option D. Now look at the next bit. When a series RL circuit is connected to a voltage V and current passing through inductor at 0 plus. Now you see the meaning. It is a simple series RL circuit. There is a voltage source switch and this is RL and this is RL. Now you know inductor will never allow sudden change in current through it. So clearly here I of 0 minus is 0. So I of 0 plus is also 0 because inductor will not allow sudden change in current through it. So answer is C, option C, okay, where V is the applied voltage, R is the resistance, and because what is the reason? Inductor will not allow sudden change in current. So at T equal to 0 plus also 0. If there is an initial condition I would have written, but there is no initial condition mentioned here again. So option is C, okay. Chalo, now let us go to the next bit. Now see this. Which of the following statements are correct for a balanced three-phase circuit? Now in a simple balanced three-phase circuit, first of all, you know in a simple balanced three-phase circuit, total instantaneous power, because instantaneous power is always constant here, unlike single phase. So instantaneous power is always constant, and in the balance system, total power is 3P, where P is the power in each phase, okay. So first is correct statement, no doubt, first is correct statement. then sum of all three currents in any instant is 0, because in a balanced system phasor sum of IR plus IY plus IB is 0. That is why neutral current will never flow here. Yes or no? Because three equal magnitudes but mutual phase shift of 120, everything is 0. So yes, sum of three currents are also 0. So second is also correct. The sum of instantaneous reactive power 0. No, reactive power never becomes 0. It depends upon the nature of the load. If it is a balanced system, he told, and if his load is also balanced, yes, depending upon that, yes, net reactive power exists. You cannot make. See, if it is given purely resistive load, then you would have argued. But here he never mentioned. So how can reactive power net become 0? So this cannot be correct. This cannot be correct. So option 1 and 2 only correct. So option 1 and 2 correct. So option A. Okay, it is option A, correct. Now let us go to the next bit, everybody. This is also on three-phase balance system, please. In a three-phase balanced star connected system, the line voltage is dash. Now this is a standard bit I told. In a three-phase balanced star connected system, line voltage is √3 times phase voltage in magnitude, no doubt, no doubt. But most importantly, in a positive sequence, line voltage leads phase voltage by 30 degrees. This is the first thing we teach in a balanced three-phase star connected. Okay. So line voltage is √3 times phase voltage, and line voltage leads phase voltage by 30 degrees, provided it is a positive ABC system or RYB system. Okay. So clearly line voltage leads phase voltage by 30 degrees. So option C. Okay, option C. Okay. Yes, that is option C. Now let us go to the next bit here. Now, which of the following conditions of a two-port symmetrical electrical network correct? That means he is indirectly telling that what are the conditions for symmetry in a two-port network. What are the conditions for symmetry in a two-port network? First of all, yes, Y11 equal to Y22 in Y parameters, correct, and A equal to D also in ABCD. But H11, H22 never, sir. Condition for symmetry in H parameters is H11, H22 minus H12, H21 is 1. But condition for symmetry is not in this. So these two will match. So in Y parameters, the condition for symmetry is Y11, Y22, and in ABCD also symmetry is A equivalent. So 1 and 2. So here also my option is A, 1 and 2 only. Okay, 1 and 2 only, which is absolutely correct. Okay. Now this is one of the good questions here we got. Consider the following network function. Okay, in network function, he gave the function, but clearly it is a second order transfer function. The quality factor. Now from second order characteristic equation, how can you find quality factor? I gave the relation between quality factor and damping ratio zeta. See, quality factor is 1 by 2 zeta. Yes, this is the formula. Very standard formula. You see in my notes every time it is there. But here from this, if you compare s square plus 2 zeta omega n s plus omega n. See, omega n square is 10 to the power of 6. From that, omega n is root of this 10 to the power of 3. That is 1000 radians per second. Now 2 zeta omega n is 300. So from that, zeta is 300 by 2 into omega n. Omega n is how much? 1000. But from this, finally, what is quality factor? Quality factor is 1 by 2 zeta. So if you substitute 1 by 2 into zeta, what is this zeta? 300 by 2000. Okay, that is 1000 by 300, that is 10 by 3. 10 by 3 is 3.33. 3.33. Option is C. Obviously C. Option is C. Okay. Yes, option is C. Okay. Then 3 capacitors of capacitance 10 microfarad, 20 microfarad and 40 microfarad are connected in series across 280 volts. The charge on each capacitor. See, in series capacitor, charge is equal in all the capacitors. Okay. Total charge is simply Q is equal to C total into V total. First, let us bring the C total. But they are all in series now. So 1 by C total is 1 by C1 10 micro, 1 by C2 20 micro and 1 by C3 40 micro. So here 1 by C total, if I take this 1 by 10 micro common, 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4. So this is 1 by 10 micro into, if I take LCM 4, this is 4 plus 2 plus 1. So from that, C total is 40 by 7 microfarad. Okay. Then what is Q total? Q is C total into V, that is 40 by 7 microfarad into V. What is the voltage applied? 280. 280. So this becomes again 40, 1600 microcoulomb. That is nothing but 1.6 millicoulomb. 1.6 millicoulomb. So option is B. because in series resistors current through them is equal, in series capacitor charge through them is equal. So charge on each capacitor or total charge is one and the same, okay, as long as they are in series, please, and it is a single isolated body. If you separate them, that is a different question. So yes, answer is this, okay. So answer is this. Like in resistors also, what is the total current? V by R total. Here also Q is C into V total, okay, C into V total, okay, that is the meaning. So 1.6 milli, okay. Now let us go to the next problem here. Now in a network, the number of linearly independent mesh equations. See, number of mesh equations is equal to branches minus nodes plus 1. Branches minus nodes plus 1. That is nothing but branches minus of nodes minus 1. Like that also you can write. Branches minus of nodes minus 1. Option is B. Maybe one student wrote this, which I don't accept. Number of mesh equations equal to branches minus nodes plus 1. Branches minus nodes plus 1. So be careful with the arrangement he gave. So option is B. Now, which of the following never dissipates energy but only stores? Resistor dissipates, conductor have losses because it is not pure conductor. Ideal diode also, yes, you can, ideal diode, it is made out of semiconductor, but yes, which can store, which can only store? Pure capacitor, yes, store, okay, which never dissipates, okay, yes, which never dissipates. So ideal pure capacitor never dissipates, it only stores. So option is A, obviously A. Now, an ideal voltage source is defined as an energy source whose terminal voltage is, now listen sir, very interesting. See, ideal voltage source, first of all, internal resistance is 0, okay, internal resistance is 0, and moreover whatever we generate will also appear across the load terminals. Whatever we generate will also appear across the load terminals for any current, Now there are two things we have to understand. One is dynamic characteristics, one is static characteristics. If you observe the dynamic characteristics, it can supply constant voltage up to infinity without discharging. This is called dynamic characteristics. If you go to static characteristics, ideal voltage source will maintain stiff voltage, whatever may be the current. Whatever may be the current, it should maintain stiff voltage. Okay? So now let us see dynamic and static and the equivalent. Let us observe. So ideal voltage source is defined as an energy source whose terminal voltage is, yes, proportional to load with infinite internal resistance, no. Independent of output, dependent on output current, never. Independent of output current, and proportional to load with finite internal resistance. See, first of all, ideal voltage source internal resistance 0. Load, it can be anything, but he said, see, proportional to load with infinite internal resistance, no. Current source, we would have said parallel. Dependent on output current, no. See, whatever may be the current, voltage should always be constant. This is also not correct. Independent of output current, yes, this is independent to output current. Ideal voltage source property is this, okay, and proportional to load with finite internal resistance, no. First of all, resistance never exists. So based on circuit, dynamic and static, option C is only correct, okay, option C, simple, okay. Now let us go to the next bit. Now see sir, this is very straightforward. Norton theorem states that any two-terminal linear network with voltage source, current sources and resistances can be replaced by equivalent circuit consisting of current source in parallel with resistance. This is Norton's equivalent. Current source, Norton current or short circuit current, and resistance is Norton's resistance. So this is the Norton's equivalent. Chalo, let us see the options. Voltage source in parallel with resistance, wrong. Voltage source in series with resistance, wrong. Current source in series with resistance, absolutely wrong. Current source in parallel with resistance, that is Norton's. Norton's theorem states that any two terminal. So current source in parallel with resistance. So option D, okay? Yes, it is clearly option D. Now sir, an ideal voltage source is a two-terminal element in which, now this question is similar to the this question what we studied. See this question, similar sir, okay. Now looking at the equivalent circuit of ideal voltage source, dynamic and static. Dynamic characteristics is with respect to time, static characteristics are independent of time. Now look at this now. See here, an ideal voltage source is a two-terminal element in which current Is is completely independent to voltage. Okay, voltage, see voltage source is asking, na sir, voltage source is asking, so voltage we have to talk. Current Is is completely independent to voltage, no. Voltage Vs is completely independent of current Is through its terminals, yes. Current Is is completely independent through its terminals, no. Voltage Vs is completely dependent. So first of all, dependency is never coming. And voltage source, how can current is completely independent or dependent? No. Okay. So in ideal voltage source, voltage is independent to whatever you connect, R load, RL load, anything you connect, voltage is independent. So yes, option is B, okay, voltage Vs. So this is also similar to what we have written here, Okay. Here you see independent to output current, voltage is here also, yes. Vs is completely independent of current Is through its terminal. So, similar na sir, both are similar. Okay. I think it is the same similar question he gave. Now, see this question, a circuit consists of voltage source with 50 volts and internal resistance of 25. If a load is connected to voltage source, the maximum power drawn to the load resistance. Now, first of all, see this is a voltage source of 50 volts with internal resistance 25. So, this is 50 volts with internal resistance 25 ohms. Okay? Now, we know maximum power is transferred to the load when load resistance is source resistance. So, this load resistance is also how much then 25 ohms, that is done. Then what is Pmax? Pmax you know Vth square by 4 Rth, Vth square by 4 Rth. So, this is already in Thevenin's equivalent. So, Vth square is 50 into 50 by 4 into Rth, Rth is 25. Okay. So, 25 2s are 2, 2s are 50 by 2, 25 watts. Maximum power transferred is 25 watts. Straightforward. Okay. This is a straightforward question he asked. Okay. So, with this all the questions related to electric circuits is over. I will request my next faculty to take over and he will introduce himself with his subject. Okay. Be ready and stay tuned. Network relatively I would say it is very easy sir. I did not find any bit which really is a controversial bit or anything ambiguity in it. So, straightforward 13 marks you can get. Okay. I will now pass on to my next faculty member. Thank you.
in control system, asked total 13 questions, all are very easy. The first one is related to the stability. According to stability definition, for bounded input, the output should be bounded. The bounded is checked with what? Some finite value. If you have a finite value, then we can say that it is a bounded signal. And a system is stable if for the bounded input. So every bounded, the bounded output for every bounded input produce the bounded output. It is a correct statement. So the answer is A. Next, any system, you take any system, so it is described by 3 variables, that is input and output and state variables. So this question belongs to the state model. So that means answer is C. Next, so if it is possible to transfer the system, this belongs to the state model again. So what is the definition of the controllability? What is the definition of controllability? Any system, if you have initial states at t equal to t naught, a transfer to the what desired state in a duration of what t equal to t1, then we can say that system is called controllable. So the system is state controllable. So option is C. This statement belongs to the observability. It is determining the what? Identify the initial states of the system. If we are able to identify initial states of the system, then we can say that system is what? Completely observable. So the answer is B. So type 2 system and ramp input, that means type is more than input. So that means type is more means the steady state error becomes the what? 0. So the answer is 0, ESS. ESS becomes 0 because type 2 and unit ramp input. So type is more, then automatically you will get the error equal to 0. Very easy questions, all are straightforward. This is the definition of transfer function he asked. So as you know the definition of transfer function, simply Laplace of output by Laplace of input with all initial conditions are 0. So this is the definition of the transfer function, that is option A is correct. Next here is asking the position and velocity error constants. So what is the position error constant formula? Limit s tends to 0, g of s. So if I substitute s tends to 0, limit s tends to 0, g of s is 10 divided by 0.5 s plus 1 into s plus 5. You put it s equal to 0, you will get 10 by 5. That means that is Kp is 2. Then Kv is limit s tends to 0, s into g of s. You substitute s tends to 0 because there is no s term in the g of s, it will become 0. That means 2 comma 0 is the answer. So answer is B. So here given a differential equation is asking a transfer function. Simply apply the what? Laplace transform. If apply Laplace transform and then if you take the ratio, what is the Laplace transform? 3 s square c of s plus 5 s c of s plus c of s equal to r of s plus 3 into e power minus 2s into r of s. Then find transfer function output by input, r of s by c of s if you write, then 1 plus 3 into e power minus 2s divided by 3s square plus 5s plus 1. So the answer is C. Next here steady state error for type 1, type 2, type 3 systems for parabolic input. So parabolic is generally t square by 2. So parabolic a t square by 2. So if I take it type 1, so if I take it type 1 system, generally type is less than the t power. So generally what happens, type is less is there means the error becomes infinity, and type is 2. Type is 2 means generally input t power also 2, both are same means you will get the error is generally constant, you will get the error is constant. The third one is, so type 3, type is more than input t square, so that means error becomes the what? 0. So here by comparing t power and s power, we can write the answers directly, infinity, constant and 0. Answer is A. Next, just apply Laplace transform, you will get the what? N factorial by s plus a whole power n plus 1. So the answer is A. If roots of the characteristic equation positive real means the pole is in the right, or even repeated roots also is telling there are repeated roots. So repeated, so that means the system is going to become unstable. It may be on origin or it may be on repeated roots on what? Like plus or minus j omega, then also system is unstable. Next here phase margin they are asking. So here by looking itself we can find omega gc. Omega gc means where the magnitude equal to 1, you put it s equal to 0, then the magnitude is going to become 1. That means omega gc becomes the what? 0. Then if you find phase margin equal to 180 plus angle of g of j omega at omega gc. So phase margin if you write 180 minus angle gs means 2 tan inverse of omega gc, but omega gc 0. That means the angle is what? But the phase margin is 180 degrees. The answer is D. So here system is given, is asking breakaway points. Actually if you are having only 2 poles, then the break point is midpoint. For example 0, minus 2 is there, no doubt the break point is minus 1. As one more pole added at minus 3, the break point, the branches shifted towards the right, addition of poles we used to discuss, no need to calculate. We can say the answer is minus 0.785. Or you can differentiate, you can go by procedure, you can get the answer. That's all, thank you. Next my friend Ramesh sir will continue.
Okay, now we will start engineering mathematics. 12 questions given in engineering mathematics. This is problem number 136. What is the value of B such that the system of homogeneous equation has non-trivial solution? Solution non-trivial means determinant is 0. Equate the determinant is 0, we will get the value of B. Equate the determinant, that is 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, determinant of the quotient matrix 4, 3, B. Make it as 0, we will get the value of B. B value is 8. Option C is correct. Okay, after calculations we will get B is 8. Now coming to the question number 137, orthogonal trajectories of the hyperbolas, actual question they asked. Okay, that is x square minus y square is equal to c. So this is nothing but differentiate with respect to x, 2x minus 2y into dy by dx is equal to 0. That implies 2x is equal to 2y into dy by dx. So what is dy by dx? Dy by dx is equal to x by y. Next, to find the orthogonal trajectories, we have to replace dy by dx with dx by minus of dx by dy or not. So replace dy by dx with minus of dx by dy is equal to x by y. Now solve this differential equation. This is a differential equation in variable separable form. Simply you solve it. That is nothing but what it is, minus dx by dx is equal to dy by y. This is in variable separable form. If you solve this differential equation, finally you will get xy is equal to c. After calculations, you will get xy is equal to c. Option C is right. Now coming to the next problem. The value of integral c x square y ds, where c is a curve defined by x is equal to 3 cos t, y is equal to 3 sin t. Say this. This is a line integral over the surface. So for line integral over the surface, that too in parametric form, there is one formula, that is integral of r of t into modulus of r dash of t dt. So limits are from t1 to t2, means this is a line integral over the surface in parametric form. What is r of t given here? R of t is nothing but 3 cos t, 3 sin t. What is r dash of t? R dash of 3 is nothing but, find this derivative, minus 3 sin t, 3 cos t. What is modulus of r dash of t? Modulus of r dash of t is nothing but root over x square plus y square or not? That is root over 9 sin square t plus 9 cos square t. That is nothing but 3 or not? Now what it would be finally? That is t1 to t2, already limits given as integral 0 to pi by 2. What is r of t? Here I am writing, space is not sufficient. Here I am writing, that is integral 0 to pi by 2. What is r of t? In place of r of t, that is nothing but x square y. See, r of t means x square y. In place of x, what it is? Actually x square y. Modulus of r dash t means 3 dt. But we have to integrate with respect to t, means in place of x and y also you have to substitute t. That is parametric form, integral 0 to pi by 2. What is x? X is nothing but, in place of x, that is this is x, this is y. So 3 means 9 x square means 3 cos t whole square means 3 cos square t. So what is y? 3 sin t. That is 3 sin t means 3 into 9 is 27 or not? Here this is 27 sin t. Already modulus of r of t is nothing but, that is nothing but 3 into 3 dt. So now integrate, this is in a form f of x whole power n into f dash of x. Okay, use that formula to find the integration. After integration, final step we will get it as, that is 27. Final answer after integration, after calculation, final answer will get it as 27. 27 means option C is correct. Okay, right. Coming to the next problem. Let D is a region bounded by a closed cylinder x square plus y square is equal to 16, z is equal to 0. 2 means cylinder with circular cross section, that is with circle with radius 4, and height is nothing but a cylinder, z is equal to 0 to 4 units of height. Now V is given, divergence theorem by doing triple integral of del dot V dV they asked. So limits we have to set for, say, convert it into cylindrical coordinates form, that is x is equal to r cos theta, or x is equal to r cos theta, y is equal to r sin theta, z is equal to z only. Now dv is nothing but dx dy dz, that is nothing but r dr d theta dz. Is it? Now triple integral of del dot v. First you find del dot v. Here del dot v is nothing but diverges. Partial derivative of f1 with respect to x means that is 6x, f2 with respect to y means 12y, f3 with respect to z means that is 1. So very clear. Now triple integral of del dot v dv required. So that is nothing but see, r theta limits, r varies from where to where? R is equal to 0 to radius 4 units. Theta angle circular cross section, that is 0 to 2 pi. Next z varies from where to where? Z is equal to 0 to 4. That is nothing but 6x plus 12y plus 1 dr, see dx dy dz. Okay, next step I will write and final answer. That is nothing but next step, triple integral of del dot v dv is nothing but integral r is equal to 0 to 4, theta is equal to 0 to 2 pi, z is equal to 0 to 4, 6 into x. In place of x what it is? R cos theta plus 12 into y, 12 into r sin theta plus 1 r dr d theta dz. But in calculations you see this once. Okay, if you calculate you will get the final answer. But there also you follow one small observation, small technique. Cos theta integration is nothing but sine, but sine limits you will take it as 0 to pi, 0 to 2 pi means it becomes 0. Again sine integration is nothing but cos. Okay, but limits are from 0 to 2 pi. 0 to 2 pi means cos 2 pi 1 and cos 0 is also 1. This also becomes 0. Just integrate r dr d theta dz, you will get this solution quickly. So that final answer what you are getting here, it is 64 pi will get. 64 pi. 64 pi means which option? Option B. Actually we solved it. 139. Just a minute. 139 problem number option D is correct. 96 pi we are getting, not 64 pi. Okay, right. Next problem. The Fourier series expansion of the function, that function is clearly an even function. X is odd and sin x is odd. Odd into odd is nothing but even function. The coefficient a1 they asked. What is an actually? If the function is a even function, an is nothing but 2 by L into integral 0 to L f of x into cos n pi x by L dx or not. But here L is equal to pi, that will be finally 2 by pi into integral 0 to pi. What is f of x? X sin x into cos. A1 they are asking. A1 means n is 1. N1 means pi, here n1 pi will cancel cos x dx. That is 2 by pi into integral 0 to pi x into, this is nothing but 1 by 2 sin 2x, shall we write like this? Dx. So you can 2 will cancel, next you can integrate. Okay, after integration what you are getting, already we solved this, that is option B, minus 1 by 2 you are getting. Minus 1 by 2 is the answer. Coming to the next problem. Partial differential equation formed by the elimination of arbitrary function. So for this what it is? Z is given as f of x square minus y square. Okay, P is nothing but dou z by dou x. What it is, f dash of x square minus y square in derivative of x square is 2x with respect to x or not. In a similar manner, what is q? Q is nothing but dou z by dou y. That is nothing but partial, that is f dash of x square minus y square into 2y. Let it be 1, let it be 2. Our aim is to eliminate the arbitrary function so that f we should not observe. You can take it as either p by q or q by p, means 1 by 2 you can take. If you take 1 by 2, okay, f dash will cancel. So p by q will become, that is RHS is 2x by 2y. After calculation you will get D 141. Yes, option D will carry. Take 1 by 2, we will get option D. Is it? Coming to the next problem. If one of the solution of the equation is given as, see this is Lagrange's form, that is PP plus QQ is equal to R form it is. So actually two solutions exist here. One solution is already given, that is nothing but what are subsidiary equation? Dx by capital P is equal dy by capital Q is equal dz by capital R. That is nothing but dx by x square minus y square minus z square dy by what is capital Q? 2xy dz by R. What is R? R is nothing but 2xz. If you take these two subsidiary equation, one solution exists. That solution is already given. This is nothing but y by z is equal to a for this solution given. Another solution they are asking means I have to take these two subsidiary equations, or else this and this you can take. So by taking these two subsidiary equations, solution required to me. So already y by z is equal to a or not. Do one thing from this. See here x and y two variables are there, means with respect to x and y, but here three variables are there. This also convert as two variables. For this do one thing, x square minus y square, already y by z is equal to a or not. So in place of z you can take it as y by a. Z is nothing but y by a or not. So y by a whole square is equal to dy by 2xy. Okay, so this is now first order first degree differential equation. If you simplify, it will be converted as Bernoulli's differential equation. It will be converted in a form of Bernoulli's differential equation. Solve that Bernoulli differential equation. Final answer would be 142 na option B. We have got it as option B. Verify. Okay, if you solve this Bernoulli equation, we will get this answer. Is it? Next, coming to 143. See, this is a P minus x square is equal to q plus y square. No doubt this is variable separable form of partial differential equation. P minus x square, first two lines here also I will give you, that is q plus y square. You can take it as P minus x square is equal to a, one arbitrary constant, q plus y square is equal to a. From this, okay, that is P is equal to x square plus a. What is q? A minus y square. So what is general solution? What is solution of this PDE in variable? PDE in variable separable form. Solution is z is equal to integration of p dx plus integration of q dy plus integrating constant either c or b or a, that depending on the options. So z is nothing but what is p? X square plus a dx. What is q? A minus y square dy plus c. You just integrate this, very simple integration. If you integrate, finally what we got, it is 143, option D we got it. Verify once, option D is correct for it. Okay. Next, same model, this is also partial differential equation in variable separable form given. That is here also all x and p terms write one side, y and q terms write one more side. That is p square minus x is nothing but y minus q square. Put same model like the previous problem, you can take it as a y minus q square, also you can take it as a, that implies p square is equal to x plus a, q square is equal to y minus a. So what is p? Root 2 over x plus a. What is q? Root 2 over y minus a. So what is solution? Integration of p dx plus q dy plus integrating constant c. What is p? Root over x plus a dx plus root over y minus a dy plus c. Same, this also very simple integration. Okay, after calculation we will get the answer is, final answer what we have got, option D. This answer we have got, you also verify, option D is correct for it. Next, coming to the problem number 145. Yes, here z is equal to, convert it into polar form, z is equal to r e power I theta. This is not a closed curve. If it is a closed curve, you can apply Cauchy's theorem, but it is not a closed curve. So what is r here? Radius is 2 e power I theta. What is dz? 2 e power I theta d theta. Now integral c, integral theta is equal to 0 to pi by 3 na? Yes, pi by 3. Z square dz is nothing but theta is equal to 0 to pi by 3. What is z? 2 e power I theta whole square. Dz is nothing but 2 e power I theta d theta. Just integrate this. We will get the final answer as minus 16 by 3 after integration. Minus 16 by 3, 145, yes. So option C is correct. Okay. Coming to the next problem. The value of integral dz by z into z square plus 4. Simply you can apply Cauchy integral formula here. Unit circle given, mod z is equal to 1 means center 0, radius 1 or not. But one of the singular points z is equal to 0 lies inside C. So given function you can take it as 1 by z into 1 by z into z square plus 4. This you can write as a 1 upon z square plus 4 by z. Okay. So this is in a form f of z by z minus 0. So by integral formula what it is? Integral c f of z by z minus a dz is nothing but 2 pi I into f of 0. 2 pi I into what is f of 0? Because 0 lies inside C, singular point lies inside C. So integral formula you can apply. What is f of 0? F of z is nothing but 1 by z square plus 4. So 1 by 4, pi I by 2 is the answer. Any option? Option D, 146. Now coming to the last problem in mathematics. The mode and modal ordinate of the normal distribution. Mode, mean, for a normal distribution, mean, mode and median all three are equal already you know. So mean is mu, clear. But along with the first option, in option C also mu is there. These two are ruled out. Now coming to what is the meaning of modal ordinate? This is a new word. Modal ordinate means at mode, the ordinate at mode. What is ordinate? Ordinate is nothing but the value of y. At mode, what is the value of y? Yes, generally normal distribution curve is like this. This is nothing but mu. At mu, the output, that is nothing but 1 by root 2 pi sigma. That is the maximum value of a normal curve. Instead of asking the maximum value of a normal curve, simply they asked with this word. Don't confuse. So 1 by root 2 pi sigma, option A is correct. These are the questions given in mathematics. I hope you all did well, I hope. Is it? Next,
follow. From signals we got around 14 to 15 questions for electrical this year. Let us see. This is a straightforward formula. What is a Fourier transform of step function? 1 by j omega plus pi into del omega. Straightforward. No logic in the question. Two continuous signals are given. Both are sampled at 75 Hz. What is the discrete form of them? To convert continuous signal to discrete signal, t is replaced as n into ts. What is the first function given? 10 cos of 100 pi t. Fs value 75 Hz, ts is 1 over fs, that is 1 by. So what is exponent of nts? T is replaced as, that is exponent of n by 75. Once we substitute 10 cos of 100 pi n by 75. So it is 10 cos of 4 pi n by 3. That is not available in the options. Don't confuse. With what periodicity discrete signal repeats? For a periodicity of 2 pi. Remove the internal periodicity of 2 pi. This is indirectly 2 pi minus 4 pi by 3. Discrete signal periodical repeats for every. So 10 cos of 2 pi n by 3 after mathematical simplification, because discrete signal periodical repeats for every 2 pi. What about the second function? 10 cos of 50 pi t, that is also sampled at 75. Again, if you do the conversion, x2 of n by 75. So 10 cos of, what is that frequency given? 50 pi n by 75. It is also same. So 10 cos of 2 pi n by 3. By giving continuous functions, he asked the sample form of that signal. Option A is the correct answer. 10 cos of 2 pi n by 3, both are equal. When the Fourier transform and inverse Fourier transform equations are similar but not quite identical, it is nothing but duality or similarity. What is that property? Capital Xt transform pair with x omega is capital X of t is having spectrum as 2 pi into x minus. We studied this as duality or similarity theorem. Standard property, theoretical build-up. Question is given theoretically. Okay. Straightforward. Option D is the correct answer. Option D. One good question from filters. Transfer function is given, sampling period is given, using bilinear transformation. How to get the digital transfer function? Bilinear means, what is the replacement we are making? S equals to 2 by t into 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse. What is the sampling period mentioned? 0.1 second. Substitute here. 2 by 0.1 becomes 20 into 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse. H of z is 1 by 20 into 1 minus z inverse by 1 plus z inverse plus 1, this total term whole square. When you look at the options, see, because of this denominator 1 plus z inverse, definitely in the numerator after simplification we will get 1 plus z inverse whole square, that is pakka. We should have that term. Which options we can remove here? Option A and C we can remove. I am saying we should get 1 plus z inverse, but option B contains what? 1 plus z. You can eliminate this also automatically, which is correct. Option D is correct. We have to do that enjoyment, time waste. 1 plus z inverse anyway we will get in the numerator, that will have 1 plus z inverse whole square. But gain factor, that 0.0476, it is not the number, it is 1 by 441, 0.022, something like that we will get. It is a mistake, but we have to choose that as the best option. Okay. Straightforward, based on the formula, question is framed. Very simple. This is a standard expression we use it to study in the class. IAR filter expression. Fixed coefficients having linear elements, that is called as an LTI system. Nothing to say about it. AK, BK are the fixed coefficients we have for input and output. It is standard IAR filter expression, infinite impulse response filter. It will have linear elements. Of course, the coefficients are fixed, means automatically it is time invariant system. So these are the few questions which I want to discuss. Rest of the questions will be discussed by Mr. Aditya.
here x of n is given, h of n is given. We are asked to find the convolution of that. So how do you find the convolution? Y of n equal to summation k from minus infinity to infinity. It is x of k h of n minus k. So if you substitute this, so this is summation k from minus infinity to infinity, x of k is e power minus k square, and then this is 3 times n minus k whole square. So 3 comes out. So if you like expand this, this looks like a minus b whole square, there will be a square, there will be b plus b square, and then minus 2ab. So if you look at that minus 2ab term, it's like this is even function, and that minus 2ab term is like an odd function. So even into odd, and then you summation, if you do the summation from minus infinity to infinity, it becomes 0. So you are left with terms like summation k from minus infinity to infinity, it is e power minus k square, and then you have got n square plus k square. Like I said, that minus 2ab on summation goes to 0. Now you split them. So n square is independent of k, it comes out. So you have 2 terms like this. The first term will resemble like 3n square summation k from minus infinity to infinity. It is e power minus k square. And then the second term is like summation k from minus infinity to infinity. It is e power minus k square into k square. So our answer should look like some a into n square plus some constant. So you can eliminate certain options like b and c are eliminated. B and c are eliminated. Now it is about a and d. So how do you further decide it? So if you expand this, so there is a 3 waiting out, and then if you put k as 0, so this entire thing becomes 0. So I'm just expanding few terms. If you put 1, then you get e power minus 1. And here if you put minus 1, again you get e power minus 1. So e power minus 1 value is 0.36 something. So this is 0.36, 0.36, 0.72. So let's say 0.72 into 3. So it is 2.2 something. So already that constant value is like 2.2 or more than that. Now this is 1.5, but our answer should be more than that. So the only possibility is option D. So let's look at this question. Now this is a very standard question. So start like this. You can start like this. 3 power n u of n. So what's the z transform of this? 1 by 1 minus 3 z power minus 1. But I see a z power minus 1 there. So z power minus 1 here indicates that there is a shift in the time domain. So this should be like 3 power n minus 1 u of n minus 1. So do we have such options like that? 3 power n minus 1 u of n minus 1, which is option D. Now we know the standard result, like if you integrate a like impulse, you get a step function, so which is done like this. So u of t is integral minus infinity to t del of tau d tau. So they are not worrying about the limits, they are just looking at, okay, integrating the impulse gives a step signal. This is the right option. Now like this, suppose if you read the question which says which one of the following time signals is said to be periodic with period Tp for which the signal is advanced in time and hence it remains unchanged. So we thought like the question should have been framed in a better way. So when I read this, suppose for example if I take this and put it here, continuous time signal, so here you put the word continuous time. Continuous time signals is said to be periodic with time period Tp for which the signal is advanced in time. Like if you shift a continuous time signal by let's say by its time period towards the right side or the left side, again you get the same thing. So that's how the periodic signals are defined. So the best possible answer here is it is option C. So every even signal need not be periodic, like every odd signal need not be periodic. So there is a condition for discrete time signals to be periodic. So like we need that 2 pi by omega naught to be a rational number. So we feel like the best possible answer here is the option C. Now this is a very standard question which we solve in our classes. So let's look at the time invariance first. So how do you find the time invariance? So for the time invariance, we need to first find the output due to delayed input. So I'm just writing the output due to delayed input. I'm directly writing, look at that. So it is like this. You have to first delay your input and then it is sin t like this. So x of sin t minus t naught, this is called the output due to delayed input. Now you should also find delayed output response, which is very simple. You need to replace t with a t minus t naught. If I do that, it is x of sin of t minus t naught. Do you think both the expressions are same? They are not same. It's a property of time variant system. Now this we teach in our classes, x of sin t, we say it's a non-causal. So how do you know it? So for example, if I have to find the output at, let's say, minus pi, then this is like x of sine of minus pi. So we all know sine of minus pi is 0, and then your output at minus pi is actually depending on the input at t equal to 0. This is like a, let's say this is a present output, this is future input. So this is clearly non-causal system as well. So we found there are two answers for this, one is B as well as D. So now they are asking what's the condition for even symmetry. It's a very simple problem, x of minus t equal to x of t, that's a condition for a even signal or even symmetry. So this is a basic question on Nyquist rate, find the maximum frequency. So obviously the maximum frequency will be from this, and the units are in hertz. So this is 2 pi into fm, so I can now take fm as 5000. And then what is the Nyquist rate? The Nyquist rate is twice this, so which is 10,000. So 10,000 can be viewed as 10 kilohertz. So this is the answer for this question. So that's it from this. So next.
Okay, so let's look at basic electronics engineering. Most of the questions are theory type. The leakage current IE naught from collector to emitter with the base lead open, the collector emitter configuration is, this is a standard formula, IC naught equal to 1 plus beta times of ICB naught. So option A is the right answer. Which one of the following represents the level of energy of the valence electrons of an atom bound under the effect of electromagnetic force? The word valence itself tells that it should be valence band. Ripple is the variation of output voltage above DC. So we all know that the ripple is more in a half wave rectifier as compared with full wave. Something like that is given in the options. Let's go through. Quite small in a half wave rectifier, that is wrong. same in a half wave rectifier, quite large in a half wave rectifier. So, the ripple is generally large in a half wave rectified wave. The rise time of a certain amplifier is 35 nanoseconds. What is the approximate bandwidth? There is a empirical relationship. The bandwidth multiplied by rise time should always be equal to 0.35. So, the rise time is given, but you are asked to find the bandwidth. So, bandwidth is 0.35 divided by the rise time 35 nanoseconds. So, it gets cancelled, it should be a round number. So, hopefully it is 10 megahertz, because 35 is 0.35 is 35 into 10 power minus 2. So, nano is 10 power minus 9. So, 10 mega is the right answer. For a JFET, IDSS is given, VP is given, VGS is given, you are asked to find ID. So, this is again another standard formula substitution. ID is IDSS into 1 minus VGS by VP whole square. So, just substitute, you get the answer. IDSS is 6 milli, 1 minus 4.5 by 4.5, 2 by 4.5. This is 2 by 4.5 whole square. So, it is a very simple formula. Option B could be the right answer, 1.9 milliampere, around 1.85 or something we are getting. Just check, 1 minus 2 by 4.5 whole square into 6 milli. If the feedback network is purely resistive, then negative feedback is introduced as a feedback voltage Vf and the output voltage V0 are in phase. So, you can see the input is provided here, and you are providing feedback. The Vf and V0 are in phase. So, hopefully this should be a non-inverting amplifier, in phase. Which one of the following amplifier transmits the input to the output terminals and it is used as a buffer? So, which configuration acts as a buffer? We all know that if the output of emitter should follow input, the emitter follower should act like a buffer. So, it should be common collector configuration. So, you can say CC or emitter follower. In the low frequency range, the gain is influenced by the coupling capacitor, the amplifier behaves as. So, we know that any common emitter amplifier, it works like a band pass filter, but the coupling capacitors, they influence the high pass response and the parasites influence the low pass. So, here he has mentioned coupling capacitor, so it should influence a high pass response. The word hybrid in H parameter indicates the units of 4 parameters are the same. No, hybrid parameters, some are ohms and some are mhos. So, that is why it is called hybrid. The units of 4 parameters are hybrid and they do not belong to one physical quantity. So, this is right. The parameters are used in different types of amplifiers, the parameters. So, hopefully the term hybrid is because the units are different. Two are constants, one is ohms and the other one is mho. An amplifier has an open loop gain of 1000. This gain varies by around 100, that means around 10%, and the feedback is introduced to ensure the voltage gain by not more than 1%, the gain with feedback. So, how do you do this? The percentage change in the overall gain is percentage change in the open loop gain divided by 1 plus A beta or 1 plus GH, you can call it. So, percentage change in AF is around 1, percentage change in the open loop gain is around 10% divided by 1 plus GH. So, 1 plus A beta you have got. Now, around 10. So, what does he want? The gain with feedback. The gain with feedback is going to be A by 1 plus A beta or G by 1 plus GH. G is given around 1000 by 1 plus A beta. So, percentage change in, sorry, it is given 0.1, not 1, it is given 0.1. So 10 by 0.1 is 100. So 1 plus GH is 100. So 1000 by 100. So 1000 by 100 should be 10. Yeah, so I repeat, 1 plus A beta we have got around 100. So 1000 by 100 should be 10. In LC oscillators, radio frequency choke, generally we apply a radio frequency choke in series to the DC supply just to isolate DC analysis with AC. So let us see whether it works as an isolator here to provide high frequency, no, to provide stability to the oscillator, to prevent high frequency current, yes. So to prevent high frequency current flowing through the power supply. So it is basically acting as an isolator with the power supply. So option C is the right answer. A sinusoidal oscillator in an amplifier with, so we know that sinusoidal oscillators, they need positive feedback. So here he has mentioned negative feedback, so it's wrong. Negative feedback and does not is wrong. Positive feedback and does not require any input. So generally oscillators are generators, they don't need any input and they employ positive feedback. So it is a very simple question. The output signal of an amplifier with a slew rate of 2 volts per microsecond has a maximum value of 10. So what is slew rate? Slew rate is given as omega Vm or 2 pi Fm Vm. So again this is another simple substitution problem. Here he has given 2 volts per microsecond. Micro means 10 power minus 6, 2 pi Fm, the maximum frequency you want, Fm you want, Vm is 10. So now from here you can calculate Fm. So Fm is going to be 2 into 10 power 6 divided by 2 pi into 10. So I don't remember the calculation. I think it comes close to around 41.86 or something, 42 is correct. Non-inverting amplifier with feedback exhibits the characteristics of, so a non-inverting amplifier is basically a VCVS, a voltage controlled voltage source. So it should be a voltage amplifier because they give series shunt feedback. So voltage amplifier is correct, it is not a current amplifier or transconductance or transresistance. So the next faculty will continue. Thank you and my best wishes.
Hello everyone, let us discuss now the questions from subject power electronics and drives. So the first question, which one of the following commutator converters is working on the principle of natural commutation? So we know in AC to DC converter we are having a inverter mode operation. It is also known as a line commutated inverter, right? And in that line commutated inverter, your rectifier is operating like a inverter, but their switches are turning off due to the natural commutation, right? So here correct answer is line commutated converter. Option D is the correct option, right? Yeah. Second question, in a single phase full wave control rectifier circuit with midpoint configuration, two SCRs M2, okay, and he has framed the 4 options based on the transformer. So in a midpoint rectifier we know we are having a 2 winding transformer, single phase 2 winding transformer whose secondary winding is having a center tapping, alright. So if you check the option, a single phase transformer with center tapped secondary windings are employed. So correct answer is option C. Here auto transformer, 3 phase transformer is not suitable because this is a M2, it is a single phase, he is asking for single phase. In single phase the 3 phase transformer is not used, alright. Auto transformer, definitely we are not using the auto transformer. And fourth is a center tapping transformer, yes, with the secondary windings are employed. Yeah. So center tapping only he has written, but he has not mentioned whether it is at a primary side center tapping or secondary side center tapping. Okay, so suitable option is option C. Alright, yeah. Next, the simple question, this type of questions we already discussed during our classroom sessions. The reverse recovery current of a power diode is a 10 microsecond, means here he has given, again there is a mistake. Check here, the reverse recovery current he has given and here the 10 microsecond. So microsecond means that should be the reverse recovery time, not the current, alright. So here TRR is equal to 10 microsecond, 10 into 10 to the power minus 6. Next, the rate of fall of current, that is di by dt, is equal to 200 ampere per microsecond, that is 200 upon 10 to the power minus 6 ampere per second, alright. Next, what is the storage charge? He is asking about the QRR, reverse recovery charge. Now in this question he has not mentioned anything about the softness factor. So here simply assume the diode is your fast recovery diode, means softness factor is a 0, right. So assume fast recovery diode, fast recovery diode. So what is softness factor? S equal to TB by TA is equal to 0, right, is equal to 0, means TB will be very small. So here TB is very small than that of TA. So now I can write here my reverse recovery time TRR is simply equal to only TA, TRR equal to only TA, right. Now if TRR is equal to TA, can I write reverse recovery charge? Recall your plot for dynamic characteristic of power diode during turn off, the current flow through diode, we are having the plot this type, right, this type of plot we are having, okay. So area under this is nothing but your reverse recovery charge, right. So this time is now TRR and the peak value of the current is IRM. We discussed this during our classroom sessions. So what is the area? So for that we are approximating this as a triangle. So I can write here QRR equal to 1 by 2 into TRR into IRM, right. So TRR he has given, we need to find IRM. How to find IRM? Yes, 1 by 2 into TRR into IRM is di by dt into TRR, right, di by dt into TRR. Di by dt is nothing but this slope. So he has given the value of di by dt. So put here 1 by 2 into TRR is 10 microsecond, 10 into 10 to the power minus 6 into di by dt. di by dt is a 200 ampere per microsecond, 200 upon 10 to the power minus 6 into TRR. It is again 10 into 10 to the power minus 6, right? So simply we need to simplify this. So after simplification, we will be getting it as a 10 millicoulomb. All right? Yeah. So correct answer is option A. For this question, the option A is a correct option, right? Yeah. Next, the fourth question, the advantageous feature of AC drive with current source DC link converter. Current source DC link converter means your current source inverter. So here he is talking about current source inverter DC drive, right? Current source inverter based AC drive. AC drive. So what is the advantage of CSI? In current source inverter, we know we are having a DC voltage source, and in series with that high value of inductor is connected, right? High inductor. Because of that high inductor, here my current is constant. My current is a constant. Now because of this high inductor, what happens here, even though the short circuit happens in your converter, then also the high current will not be flowing in your drive or in your motor, right? Means indirectly this current source inverter will provide the additional protection. Even though the short circuit happens, then also my short circuit current will not reach to very high value, because here high value of inductor is present. Due to that, my current here will remain constant, right? So here if you check the options, the suitable option is high degree of motor protection. Option B is the correct option, right? Next, fifth question, when an AC main is on, the rectifier circuit will supply the power to the inverter as well as to the battery. Therefore, it acts as. So now this question is related to the UPS, uninterruptible power supply. But here answer should not be the UPS. Why? Because here he is asking that the rectifier circuit will supply the power to the inverter as well as to the battery. So when AC supply is in on state, then your rectifier is converting that AC into DC. So my battery is getting charged, okay, and that rectifier output, that is DC, that will be given as an input to the inverter. So here my rectifier is operating as a rectifier as well as a battery charger. So correct answer or suitable option is rectifier cum charger. Option D is the correct option. Be careful. Here your answer should not be the UPS. UPS is the entire system, but the question is related to only rectifier. Okay. So here the circuit, that rectifier will operate as a rectifier cum charger, right? Sixth question. Yeah, based on the use of resonant tank, the resonant converters are classified as. Yeah. So resonant tank circuits, based on that we are having the various types of the resonant converters, like a resonant DC link converter, resonant AC link converter, even resonant switch converters, zero voltage switching, zero current switching, and load resonant converters. I can connect the resonant tank circuit in a load side also. So load resonant converter is also suitable option. So therefore 1, 2, 3 and 4, option A is the correct option. Yeah. Only theory questions, informative questions. If resonant elements are added to the DC to DC converters, then the resulting converters are known as. In DC to DC converter, if I add the resonant element, then it is known as a resonant switch converters. Option B is the correct option, right? The resonant technique process power in sinusoidal form. The power switches are often turned off under. In resonant converter, we are having a zero voltage switching and zero current switching. In resonant, generally the resonant converter advantage is here we are having the soft switching. Due to that, the switching power losses, that is the power loss in a switch during switching state, will be very, very small. Almost it is a negligible, because when the switch current is passing through 0, the switch is turning off. Or second is ZVS, zero voltage switching, that is when switch voltage is 0, then the switch will turn off or turn on, both exchanges will be taking place. Okay. So that's why here zero current, correct option is a zero current. Yes. For our normal hard switching means like your normal buck boost converters. In those cases, we are turning off switches at a high current, but in resonant converters, those are at a zero current, right? DC to DC converters basically consist of two conversion stages. Yeah, DC to DC, now the question is here DC to DC converter but two stages, means I can convert first DC to AC and second stage is AC to DC, right. So here DC to AC means it is like a inverter and AC to DC means it is like a rectifier, means by adding, yes, by connecting the inverter and rectifier I can convert DC to DC. But here if you check the options, yeah, first is DC to AC resonant inverter and AC to DC rectifier. So this is also suitable option. And second is AC to DC resonant inverter. AC to DC is not inverter, so this is not a correct one. DC to AC converter and AC to DC rectifier, yes, this is also suitable option, right. And AC to DC converter and DC to AC rectifier, right. So here AC to DC is talking, but we want DC to AC first, so this is not a correct. So your answer should be either in between A and C. But if you check in practical way, instead of going for your conventional DC to AC converters, we are going for DC to AC resonant inverters. Why? Because in resonant inverters we are having a low switching losses, right. So as long as practical case is considered, the most suitable option is option A. Most suitable I am saying option A. All right. Next, yeah, question number 28. R, L and C in an SCR circuit meant for protecting against dV by dt and di by dt. R, they have given resistance value 4 ohm, inductor 6 microhenry, capacitor 6 microfarad respectively. If the supply voltage is 300 volt, the maximum permissible value of di by dt is. Yeah, this type of question were discussed during our classroom session. So here for limiting the di by dt of your SCR, we are connecting the inductor, right. And we know inductor value is equal to Vs upon maximum di by dt, because maximum voltage across the inductor is a Vs, and we know in case of inductor voltage is equal to L into di by dt. So from that L equal to Vs upon maximum di by dt. Now we can put the values. Vs is a 300, inductor value given 6 microsecond. So it is a 6 into 10 to the power minus 6 is equal to 300 upon maximum di by dt. So from this I can get maximum di by dt. Maximum di by dt is equal to 50 into 10 to the power 6 ampere per second, right. So correct answer is option C. For this question the correct answer is option C. Yeah, next question. A 3 kilovolt 750 ampere power electronic circuit has thyristors with a 800 volt and a 175 rating. So here V string, that is string voltage rating given, string current rating given, SCR voltage rating given, SCR current rating given, D rating factor is 0.25. The number of thyristors connected in series will be. So he is asking number of series connected thyristors. Now we know why the thyristors are connected in a series, in order to increase the voltage blocking. All right. So here I can write string efficiency, yes, expression of string efficiency, it is equal to V string upon number of SCRs connected in a series. Let me write it as NS into SCR voltage rating. SCR voltage rating. Now string efficiency is 1 minus D rating factor. D rating factor is 0.25. So 1 minus 0.25 is equal to V string is a 3 kilovolt string voltage rating upon number of SCRs connected in a series into SCR voltage rating, that is a 800, right. So we can simplify this. After simplification we will be getting it as a 5. Number of series connected SCRs is equal to 5. So correct answer is option D. For this question option D is the correct answer. Yeah, next question. Yeah, now depending on the design principles used, gating circuits are very essential to direct. So the question is related to the gating circuit, right. the gating circuits are associated to your switching devices. That can be thyristor, that can be transistor, etc. Now check the options. Firing pulses to each transistor in an appropriate region of the supply cycle. So be careful here. Here the supply cycle he has given. We know in a power electronics, your transistor, power transistor like a power BJT or power MOSFET or IGBT, these are my unipolar devices, right? So for supply cycle means positive cycle, negative cycle. For negative cycle, these devices will not work at all. Okay, it will be getting damaged permanently. So as long as converters are considered, if the input is AC, your transistors are not at all suitable, right? So supply cycle is not a correct word for the transistors. Check pulse distribution, right? Yeah, this is not at all related to your gating circuits. Yeah. Third is the firing pulses to each thyristor in an appropriate region of the supply cycle. One point is here, he is talking about the gating circuit. And we know in case of SCR, the gate signal is used to trigger the SCR. So strictly speaking, this gating circuit is more inclined towards your thyristor. And in thyristor, the firing pulses to each thyristor in an appropriate region of the supply cycle. For that, we are using the gating circuits. So suitable option is option C, right? Option C, right? So friends, these are the questions from subject of power electronics, right?
Okay guys, coming to the digital microprocessor, from digital electronics they have given 2 questions and microprocessor 1 question, microcontrollers, okay. See, if you see the question carefully, the data is actually insufficient. The improper information is provided, but we can go with some assumption. Strictly speaking, n value is 12 here and the frequency 1 megahertz. So, 1 by 1 megahertz time value, I mean clock duration is equals to 1 microsecond, right, 1 micro. He is asking about maximum conversion required, nearly maximum conversion required for a given ADC means it has to be a particular analog to digital converter type. It can be other than flash type, as a clock frequency is provided, other than flash type, it should be like a counter type, successive approximation type or something else. But general conversion wise also we have a system like for n number of bits it requires n cycles. That means 12 cycles, one cycle time is 1 microsecond, and overhead time we can add like 1 clock, around 13 clock cycles. 13 clock cycles means 13 microseconds, but options are given in milliseconds. Then that option is not suitable. Even we can assume in the case of generalized or the best analog to digital converter is, in general we can say the best one is successive approximation in all aspects, speed wise, complexity wise, accuracy wise, in all aspects. Okay. So, in that way also we will have 12 cycles. So, 12 cycles, if you take the conversion time like 12 into 1 microsecond, if you convert into millisecond, it will be like 0. Around 0.012 microseconds. So, it is milliseconds, 0.012 milliseconds, but it is not matching with any option. 2 milliseconds is far out of that 0.01 milliseconds. So, that is why as he has given maximum conversion time, we can understand it out of all analog to digital converters, with by using which kind of analog to digital converter it is going to give you the maximum conversion time. So, in that aspect if you select the option, we can go for integrating type, or also called as what we call dual slope type, integrating type or dual slope type, integrating or dual slope, right. So, integrating type or dual slope conversion time is equals to 2 to the power of n plus 1 whole value minus 1, or otherwise approximately 2 times that of 2 to the power of n into clock duration 1 microsecond. N value is 12. So, if you substitute, you will get 8.191 milliseconds. So, 8.191 milliseconds is nearly equals to the 8 milliseconds. That is why we can select option D. In fact, the question is not clear, but as he has given maximum, that is the case, we can select integrating type. Integrating type is also called as dual slope. And coming to the next question, this is the direct expression provided in POS form. We need to write it in full form like 0, 1, 3 and 4. If you write it in POS standard or canonical POS form, you will get, you see, directly I am explaining it, A plus B plus C. It is in POS form, not in SOP. Okay. So, that is why A plus B plus C, A plus B plus C bar, A plus B plus C. So, we can eliminate option B and D, then A plus B plus C bar, A plus B plus C bar. So, we can eliminate option C also. So, A is a correct option directly, right. You can verify the remaining 0, 1, 1, A plus B bar plus C bar, A plus B bar plus C bar, 1, 0, 0, A bar plus B plus C, A bar plus B plus C. So, A is a correct option. And from the microcontroller has given very simple and straightforward question. For a periodic waveform, he is asking about the clock frequency range. 125 nanoseconds and 100 milliseconds is the time duration. So, if you calculate the frequency requirement or value like 1 by 125 nano, 1 by 100 milli. For 1 by 125 nano, you will get around 8 megahertz nearly. 1 by 100 milliseconds around 10 hertz. So, the best value of oscillator that you need to select for a microcontroller should be the highest value. If the given oscillator is supporting for 8 megahertz, automatically it can support for less than 8 megahertz also. That's why the reasonable correct answer is option A. Okay, these are the questions found from digital and microprocessor.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Now we are going to discuss the questions in power systems. See the first question here. So here it is based on the statements. The first statement they have given it is, if the capacitance of an overhead transmission line is high, the line draws more charging current, which compensates or cancels the lagging component of the load current. Right students? More the capacitance, more the charging current value, and more the capacitance, that charging current will compensate the lagging current automatically. So that the first statement is correct. And second one is, whenever the charging current is more, automatically the current flowing through the line will be reducing. So that we can say the resultant current flowing through the line will be reducing. Both the statements are correct. So that both the statements are correct, and second one is the correct explanation of the first one. So that we can say it is option A. Option A is the correct answer for the first question. And the next question here, voltage control and reactive power control are interrelated and need to be therefore considered together actually. So we know that the reactive power flow in a transmission line is always proportional to the voltage magnitude. The active power is always proportional to delta. Means reactive power and voltage are always interrelated to each other. If there is any change in reactive power, automatically voltage will be changing. So that we can say in statement 2, the voltage variation at a load is an indication of the unbalance between the reactive power generated and the reactive power absorbed. If there is any change in reactive power, automatically voltage will be changing. So that both the statements are correct, and second one is the first correct explanation of the first one. So that we can say option A is the first correct answer. Right. And we'll go for the next question here. The insulation resistance falls with the increase in temperature. Yes, we know that the insulators are having negative temperature coefficient. When temperature increases, automatically its resistance will be decreasing. So that we can say that. So first statement is correct. Second statement, they are saying that the resistance of the insulator is considerably lowered. So in the presence of moisture. When moisture increases, the leakage current will be increasing, so that resistance will be decreasing. So that second statement is also correct, but there is no relation between the two statements. So both the statements are correct and there is no relation between them, so that we can say option B. Right. And the next question here, so direct question, which of the following power plant is suitable for supplying peak loads? So here nuclear, steam, hydropower plant, gas turbine, directly we can go for gas turbine power plants, right. So generally sometimes we can go for hydropower plant also, but among the given options, gas turbine power plant is the most suitable answer, right. Next one, direct question, direct formula. The specific rotational speed for a water turbine. What is the specific speed? It will be N into under root of PT divided by H power 1.25. That is the direct formula, right. So many times asked this type of questions, right. So a steam power station of 100 megawatt capacity uses a coal of calorific value 6400 kilocalorie per kg. The thermal efficiency is given 30% and generation efficiency, that is electrical efficiency, is given 92%. When the station is working at full load, what is the coal required per hour? what is the coal required in tons per hour. See here students, so they have given that the power is given P is equivalent to 100 megawatt, and you can calculate the energy. What is the energy value? So power into time, it will be 100 into time per hour, it will be 3600, right students? And the overall efficiency is thermal efficiency into the electrical efficiency, so it will be 0.3 into 0.92, right? And we can calculate the energy output. The energy output is nothing but that is energy input. The energy input is nothing but the energy output divided by the overall efficiency. So we can take this value 100 into 3600 divided by the overall efficiency is 0.3 into 0.92. Therefore, so we got the energy output value and the calorific value also they have given. What is the calorific value? 6400. Therefore, we can calculate the weight of coal. Weight of coal is nothing but the energy input. So what is the energy input value? 100 into 3600 divided by 0.3 into 0.92 divided by calorific value. How much it is? 6400. We have to convert this 6400 into joules. It will be 4184. 4184 is the conversion factor. If you calculate this value, you will get approximately 48.7 tons. 48.7 tons. That is the perfect answer. So that option B is the perfect answer. Right. The next question here, the insulation resistances R1 and R2 of a live two-wire network are measured by earthing each main in turn through a millimeter in series with a high resistance R. When the supply voltage is 500 volts and the resistance are 20,000 ohms and I1 is 1 milliampere and I2 is 0.5 milliamperes, what are the values of resistance R1 and R2? See here, there are two wires. So one wire is having a resistance of R1 and one more wire is having a resistance of R2. Here they are connecting an ammeter here. Here also they are connecting an ammeter. First ammeter is measuring how much? 1 milliampere, and second one is measuring 0.5 milliamperes. And the resistance of this ammeter is given how much it is? 20,000 ohms. 20,000 ohms. Here it is also 20,000 ohms. And it is connected to a voltage of 500 volts. Right? So directly you can calculate what is the current value. I is equivalent to V by R, 500 divided by R1 plus 20,000, you can calculate the R1 value, and I2, second current I2 is equivalent to, so total voltage V divided by R2 plus 20,000, you can calculate the values of R1 and R2. So what is the value of R1 and R2? We can get R1 as 0.47 mega ohms and R2 as 0.98 mega ohms, but no option is matching, right? So actually we are getting R1 as 0.47, R2 is 0.98, so no option is there, right? And the next question here, see the next question, the advantage of supercritical steam power plants are, so they have to use somewhat good fossil fuels, and NO2 emission will be reduced and SO2 emission will be reduced, so that we can go for option C. So NO2 and SO2 emissions will be reduced. And the next question here, a three-phase 10,000 kVA 11 kilovolts alternator has a subtransient reactance of 8%. If a three-phase short circuit occurs at its terminals, what is the fault power? Fault power is nothing but fault MVA. So MVA SC is nothing but MVA base divided by X per unit. MVA base is 10 MVA divided by 0.08, it will be 125 MVA. 125 MVA is the answer, right? And the next question, so direct formula, the operating time of a static time current relay, it is K into M divided by I power N minus IP power N, that is the direct formula, right? A uniformly loaded distributor and a distribution length, overall length is 500 meter, is rated at 1 ampere per meter length. The distributor is fed at one end, right? Only one end we are having with a supply voltage of 220 volts. The loop resistance is given 2 into 10 power minus 5. The voltage drop at a distance of 400 meters. See here students, So this is the distributor we are having. The length of the distributor is 500 meters and at a distance of 400 meters. At a distance of 400 meters, they are asking what is the value of the voltage drop. So we are having the voltage drop formula, V is equivalent to per meter current into per meter resistance into length of the conductor into X is the parameter where you have to calculate minus X square by 2, that is the voltage drop. So per meter current given it is 1 and per meter resistance is given 2 into 10 power minus 5 and overall length is given 500 and length at which you have to calculate is 400 minus 400 square divided by 2. So if you calculate this value, you will get 2.4 volts. So 2.4 volts is the perfect answer. Right, students? And the next question, which of the following distributors is having a greater reliability and better flexibility? So default it is ring main distributor. So if it is interconnected given, we can go for interconnected. So among the given options, tree distributor, radial distributor, tapered distributor, all are approximately same only. Right? There is no more difference between tree distributor, radial distributor and tapered distributor, but ring main distributor is having more advantage compared to that of the remaining. Right? And the next question, an existing DC 3-wire system is to be converted into 3-phase 4-wire system by adding a 4th wire equal to the cross section of the each outer wire of the DC system for the same supply and load voltage to neutral and balanced conditions. The extra power at unity power factor that can be supplied in AC system. Many times asked for 2-wire DC. For a 2-wire DC, what is the voltage? What is the power you can transfer? 2 into V into I. 2I is the, so in one conductor Vi, 2 conductors it will be 2 into Vi. For 3-phase 3-wire, first of all, for 3-phase 3-wire it will be P is equivalent to 3 into V phase into I phase into cos phi. As cos phi is given 1 unity power factor, you can take it as 3 into Vi. Even though it is 3-phase 4-wire also, 4th wire is neutral. 4th wire is neutral wire, so that there is no need to consider that one. Right? So 3-phase 3-wire and 3-phase 4-wire calculations will be same. So that it will be 3 into Vi, it will be 2 into Va. So it is P DC and this is P AC. What is P AC divided by P DC, students? It will be 3 Vi divided by 2 Vi. So it will be 1.5 times of Vi. So how much more? 5%, that is 5 more, 0.5 more means 50% more. Right? So how much more power you can transfer? 50% more power you can transfer with, so 3-phase 4-wire system. Right. Which of the following statements are correct related to load flow? The bus admittance matrix is most economical form of point of the computer time and memory. Yes. So Y bus is normally sparse matrix, less memory required. Right. So correct statement. The mathematical formulation of load flow problem results in a system of non-linear equations, strictly speaking non-linear algebraic transcendental equations. Right. In a power system, each node or bus is associated with 4 parameters. What are that? P, Q, magnitude of V and delta. These are the 4 parameters. So that all the statements are correct. So that we can go for, so option D. Option D is the perfect answer. Right, students? And the last question, fixed and semi-fixed costs being independent of the amount of energy generated are also called, right, standing costs. So only fixed cost means we can go for investment cost or initial cost, and only semi-fixed cost means we can go for operating costs. Both whenever you are having, we can go for the standing cost. Right, students? So these are the questions we are having from the power system point of view. Right, students? And the next faculty will continue.
evening students, hope you have done your exam well. Let us see the questions given in communication engineering. Okay, direct questions are given, formula based. Let us see the questions. A carrier signal having a 10 volts peak amplitude, means amplitude of the carrier is 10 volts. Amplitude modulated by 3 different modulating frequencies with peak amplitudes. So these are the AM values for 3 different signals. So what is the modulation index? Peak amplitude of the message signal divided by peak amplitude of carrier signal. So because you are having 3 different single tone signals, you can take mu1 as 0.2, mu2 is 0.3 and mu3 is 0.4. So what is the mu t square? It will be mu1 square plus mu2 square plus mu3 square, means you will have 0.04, 0.09 and 0.16. So you will get 0.29. Okay. So he is asking what is the total modulation index mu t. It is a square root of 0.29 and this value you can express as 0.5385. So the closest possible option is 0.54. That will be your answer. Okay. Direct bit. Let us see the next bit. An amplitude modulated amplifier has a radio frequency output of 50 watts at 100% modulation index. So he is talking about the value of modulation index as 1 and the internal loss of the modulator is 10 watts. That means the total power it is taking for radiation purpose is 60 watts. Along with the loss we have to consider. So what is unmodulated carrier power? So you know PT is equal to PC into 1 plus mu square by 2 for single tone message signals. So this value is 60. We have to find power taken by the carrier and this will be 1 plus 1 by 2 is directly 3 by 2. So the power taken by the carrier will be approximately 40 watts. So your correct choice will be option D. Is it clear? Next, let us see the next bit. The maximum deviation allowed in a FM broadcast is 75 kilohertz. That means he is talking about a maximum possible frequency deviation, 75 kilohertz. If the modulating signal is a single tone sinusoidal with 10 kilohertz, so maximum frequency of the message signal is 10 kilohertz. So what is the value of modulation index for beta? It is delta F max divided by F max. So this value will be 7.5. So because it is greater than 1, it is definitely a wideband FM. So what is the bandwidth using Carson's approximation? It is 2 into the value of beta plus 1 into F max. So let us substitute the values. This will be 2 into 8.5 into F max is 10 kilohertz. Is it clear? So 85 into 2, 170 kilohertz. That is the bandwidth required for transmission of this modulated signal, an FM modulated signal. Direct formula substitution. Next, the peak envelope power in suppressed carrier signal. So here he is talking about a suppressed carrier signal. Suppressed carrier signal means what? You are doing a transmission of only upper sideband and lower sideband. Correct or not? That means definitely it will be coming under the category of a DSB-SC signal, or if you can tell, it can be an SSB also, but he is not considering any carrier. So what is the power requirement? When you are having a resistance RL, it will definitely come in denominator. So Vp is considered as peak signal voltage. So what is the power required? It is nothing but the peak signal voltage power divided by RL. So peak signal voltage power is V square by 2, that here Vp square by 2 into RL. So best choice that we can go here is option A. So this is asking you about the power without taking any carrier component. Okay. Next, an open circuit noise voltage generated across a 100 kilo ohm resistance. So here basically the logic is on a calculation of noise voltage, noise powers and noise voltages, where it has a resistance of 100 kilo ohms and frequency range is 20 kilohertz, means its bandwidth, and a temperature of 25 degrees centigrade. So when you take the noise voltage, it is given by root over 4R KT into B. So, this KT is noise equivalent of voltage. Now, this value of T, because he has given us a 25 degrees, so it will be 273 plus 25, you have to take in Kelvin scale. So, this value will be 298 Kelvin, and K is your Boltzmann constant. So, when you take V, it will be root over this 4 into R value is resistance 100K, I am writing 10 to the power of 5, and bandwidth is 20 kilohertz. So, I am writing here 2 into 10 to the power of 4 into the value of this K into T. So, this value we can approximate. Boltzmann constant will also be given in your question paper. If you substitute that value, approximately you will get this value of voltage as 5.7 micro volt. It is a little bit numerical model only, you have to spend little time, there is no other choice. Then approximate value will be 5 point something. So, only possible choice is option B. Okay. Right. Next, a voice signal band limited to 3.4 kilohertz is sampled at 8 kilohertz. So, directly sampling frequency is given, which is 8 kilohertz, and pulse code modulated using 64 quantization levels. So, L is 64. These are the number of levels we are using. So, we know 2 power n is L. So, number of bits used in encoding purpose is 6 bits per sample. So, these are the number of bits you are using to quantize each of the quantized amplitudes. If 10 such signals, means capital N is now equal to 10. Our time division multiplexed using 5-bit synchronizing word. 5-bit synchronizing word means what? It is like extra bits that you are using at the end of your data bits for synchronization purposes. What is the channel bandwidth? So, here if you take a bit rate, this is a capital N into small n plus extra bits multiplied by Fs. Because he did not tell anything about the type of pulse we are using, we can assume as rectangular pulse. So, bit rate and bandwidth will remain same. So, if you substitute these values, 10 into 6 is 60 plus 5 into value of Fs is 8K. So, 65 into 8K, it will be 520 kilohertz. So, this will be the right choice. Okay. Time division multiplexed concept. Next is also similar model. 6 analog information signals, means capital N value, number of signals are 6, each band limited to 4 kilohertz, are required to be time division multiplexed and transmitted by a TDM system, time division multiplexing system. Minimum transmission bandwidth required is dash. So, if you take bit rate, it is a capital N into small n into Fs. Now, capital N is 6, small n he has not provided, we are assuming transmitting by using 1 bit, and value of Fs will be minimum sampling frequency, which is 8 kilohertz. So, this will become 8648 kbps. So, if you are using rectangular pulses, bit rate and bandwidth will remain same. So, it will become 48 kilohertz. Is it clear? But that is not there in the option. You be very careful here. The bandwidth minimum, it occurs when we are transmitting the data using Nyquist sampling pulses or sync pulses. That will become RB by 2. So, you can go with 24 kilohertz. So, here you have the choice. So, you can go with 24K. Option C would be the correct choice. So, these are all the questions given from communication area. Hope you have done all these questions correctly. Thank you.
Right. Now I am going to give the solution related to measurement subject. The first question here is, which one of the following can act as inverse transducer? Which can act as inverse transducer when a voltage is applied across its surface? All these three are the transducers only. Piezoelectric transducer can act as transducer as well as inverse. So therefore answer will be piezoelectric crystal. Direct question. Next one is, which one of the following standards is used to check and calibrate laboratory instruments? In our laboratory, while we are calibrating or checking, which standard we use? While we are using the laboratory means automatically working standard. Direct question. Next one is, the expected value of voltage is 80 volt and obtained value is 79. What is the percentage error or accuracy he is asking? Now let us find out the error first. Percentage error is equal to measured value minus true value by true value into 100. If you simplify this, you will be getting minus 1.25% or magnitude is 1.25. Therefore, what is accuracy now? 100 minus 1.25%. So therefore, 98.75% is the answer. So therefore, answer here is 98.75. This is the answer. Right, next question. A meter will give lower indication of voltage drop that actually existed before the meter was connected. Nothing but this is the error due to meter resistance. Before connection it was there, but after connection it is giving the less value, indication less value. This is due to error due to resistance of the meter. So directly loading effect of an instrument. Loading error we can say. Next one, the basic permanent magnet moving coil mechanism is, so directly what is a de-Arsonval movement. One second, de-Arsonval movement, the first one, de-Arsonval movement, right? Next one, the potential transformer is used to operate voltmeters, potential coils of wattmeters and relays from. The potential transformer itself indicates automatically high voltage lines. Nothing but potential transformers are used across or in the high voltage lines we can say. Next question is, the nominal ratio Kn, this is a direct formula based question, nominal ratio. What is a nominal ratio formula? Kn is equal to, nominal ratio formula Kn is equal to rated primary current by rated secondary current. Rated primary current by rated secondary current. What is the answer? Rated primary winding current by rated secondary current, right? All are given as rated primary, yes. Next question, which one of the following generates an electrical signal directly to in response of physical parameter and does not require any external? Nothing but he is asking about a transducer in which external power is not required. So automatically which one? Active transducer. So these are the questions from the measurement subject.
let's see some of the questions appeared in engineering service examination this year in the subject computer fundamentals. Yeah, so one question appeared on statement based question. I think if you are good at the concept, we can easily answer to this. So it is concerned to the control unit. Okay, so you know CPU consists of 3 parts: ALU, registers, and control unit. First one we very much explains this. This is a true statement, and second one is also true statement, and second one is explanation for the first one. So the correct answer should be chosen as A. Okay, so statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is correct, and 2 is explanation for the first one. Hence, you should choose the answer as A. Right, I think this we keep on telling about it. How the instruction gets executed in this microprocessor or CPU once it is loaded into the memory. So what the CPU does, it goes to the memory, fetches that particular instruction, and it is going to decode it in instruction register, and then it is going to execute it. So we will tell that the fetch cycle plus execution cycle together is called instruction cycle. I think it is a very well known fact. So this is the answer to this, right? Fine. So this is regarding the floppy disk. I think in floppy disk there is a standard formula: number of tracks into number of sectors per track into number of bytes per sector. If you take that product, we are going to get the total amount. Here the total value is given as this one in terms of bytes, and here 80 tracks have been given, and here 128 bytes per sector has been given. That is nothing but 80 multiplied by sectors per track multiplied by bytes per sector. That is nothing but bytes per sector. How much it is? 128 is equal to this. So then you have to find out what are the sectors per track. I think this comes to be B. Simple, okay. So this is about this. And then which one of the following buses is used to control the access? I think in the name itself it is mentioned here. Okay, controlling the access means nothing but control bus. Fine. So you know that the address is kept into memory address register, and so after some time data will come from memory into the memory data register. What do you call this? This is nothing but access time of the memory. You may ask me, sir, why not this is read time of the memory? No, read time of the memory is larger than access time of the memory. After getting into MDR, this will be finally stored into another register. That time also if you count it, then it comes to the read time of the memory. I can say read time of the memory is greater than most of the times access time of the memory. So the correct answer to this is D. Yes, I think this one is very simple. I want to have accurate time delay, use a timer or counter. I want event counting, use a counter. I think in the name itself it is there. So the correct answer is programmable timer and counter. Yeah, that's it. These are the questions appeared in subject computer fundamentals. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am going to discuss the solutions regarding electrical machine subject. The question here is, if the output voltage of an auto transformer is less than, output voltage of the auto transformer is less than the input voltage. So therefore, V2 less than V1 he has given, and he is asking about the currents. If V2 is less than V1, automatically I2 will be greater than I1. So therefore, option will be the load current is more than the input current. So therefore, answer here is first option. Right. Second question, the maximum field circuit resistance with which the shunt generator would just exit the unknown exit is known as. What is the direct answer? Critical field resistance. It is a direct definition based critical field resistance. Next question is, the speed at which rotating magnetic field, this is rotating magnetic field, always rotates at synchronous speed. So direct answer, synchronous speed. Next one is, a shunt generator is rated at 240 volt at full load. At no load, the voltage is 252. What is the voltage regulation? That formula based, voltage regulation is equal to, right, V no load minus V full load by V full load. As he is asking in percentage into 100. If you simplify this, you are going to get the value as 5%. So first option is the answer. Right? Next question. When a compound generator has its series field flux aiding its, this is very important point, aiding its shunt field. So what is the meaning here? Series field flux aiding the shunt field flux. So automatically this is always happened in which one? Cumulative. So therefore cumulative is the answer. Next one. The load torque developed by a synchronous motor at which the motor pulls out of the synchronism. Direct answer, it is a breakdown torque, or we can call it a stalling torque also, but generally breakdown torque is a direct answer. Next one, a 6-pole 3-phase induction motor is connected to 50 Hz supply. If it is running at 970 RPM, the slip, direct formula, slip percentage he is asking. Slip formula is Ns minus Nr by Ns into 100. So what is the value of Ns? Ns we have to calculate 6-pole 50 Hz. So automatically Ns is equal to 120 F by P. But as you know, frequency is 50, poles are 6. Directly you have to remember all this, 1000 RPM. So you have to substitute here 1000 minus 970 by 1000 into 100. You will be getting answer as, right, 970, 30 means 3%. Next question is, the graph between, it is also direct question, the graph between armature current IA and field current and armature current, that is directly called as V curve. Right, next question. In salient pole machines, the resultant air gap flux is increased as in a cylindrical rotor alternator when armature reaction flux phi A for dash. Nothing but it is he is asking that increasing value. When it is possible, it will be simply, if you are taking like this, if the corresponding load is leading notation, both the fluxes will be aiding. So automatically leading aids the field flux phi F. The system should lead as well as aiding, then only this answer is matching. Therefore option A is answer. Next one, a stepper motor, this is the numerical model question, right? A stepper motor has a step angle of 10 degrees and is required to rotate at 200 RPM. The pulse rate, you know the formula of pulse rate here, right? This is N is equal to beta into F by 360. If you are using this, you are going to get the F value. All values are given, speed is given, and beta is also given, right? And correspondingly, if you are getting that, if you are substituting all the values, you are going to get 120 as the answer. Only thing is you should be able to recollect the formula. Right, next question is similar model but 4-stack VR stepper motor has a step angle of 1.8 degrees. The number of its rotor teeth he is asking, number of rotor teeth. The formula here is beta is equal to 360 by m into rotor teeth, right? Nothing but in this you need to calculate rotor teeth. What is the formula? 360 by m into beta. Substitute the given values, you are going to get the answer as 50. Right? These are the questions from, right, and machines. And one more question is, the total core loss of a specimen silicon steel is found to be 1500 watt at 50 hertz. These are generally popular question in the ESE related to the losses concept. 1500 watts at 50 hertz, keeping the flux density constant, nothing but B max is constant. If B max is constant, that is nothing but V by F is constant. As you know, if V by F is constant, the losses are equal to the iron loss. Let me take iron loss is equal, what is the formula? Right, A into F plus B into F square, we can say. Iron loss equal to A into F plus B into F square. Here correspondingly 1500 watts is given, and here core loss means iron loss. So 1500 watts is equal to A into, at which frequency? 50 hertz. A into 50 plus B into 50 square. And after that 3000 watts is given. 3000 watts A into, at which frequency? 75. A into 75 plus B into 75 square. If you simplify these two, you are going to get A value as well as B value, both you will be getting. And after that, what he is asking? Eddy current loss at 75. After getting this, substitute the corresponding B value here. At which frequency? 75. This is nothing but hysteresis loss, this is eddy current loss. Substitute the B value over here, you will be getting, right, 2250 watts or 2.25 kilowatts. Somewhat lengthy, but this is very popular question. And these are the total questions from the machine subject. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to ESE Online and ESE Engineering Academy. Myself Madhushekar, faculty at ESE Academy. Here I am going to discuss about ESE 2025 electrical material questions, right. Good number of questions they asked, and these questions are very easy, basic fundamentals. Now see here, the resistivity of ferrite is very much higher than ferromagnetic. Ferrite materials are ceramics, okay. Ferromagnetic materials are metals. So definitely ceramics have high resistivity than metal, so this is the correct one. The ferrites are chemical compounds and electrons in them are subjected to restraint of valence forces. So here this also correct. So A and B both statements are correct, and statement 2 is correct explanation for statement 1. So A is the correct answer for this question. Now next question, a very weak form of magnetism that is non-permanent persists only while an external field is being applied. It is induced by a change in orbital motion of electrons. See, out of 5 types of diamagnetic materials do not have permanent dipoles, they have induced dipoles. So directly go with the diamagnetic material. So in diamagnetic material, okay, now remember orbital motion of electrons present, okay. So D is the correct answer. Now the magnetic moments of diamagnetic materials are mainly, see, diamagnetic materials magnetic moment is mainly due to orbital angular momentum of the electrons. A is the correct answer. Now next question, the magnetic flux density on the surface of iron phase is 1.6 Tesla, which is a typical saturation level value for a ferromagnetic material. The value of mu is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Henry per meter, the force density on the iron phase. See, the force density formula generally B by mu you can take. So, B value is 1.6 Tesla divided by 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. So, by solving this you will get nearly 1 into 10 power 6 Newton per meter square, you will get very simple question. Now, when a ferromagnetic substance is magnetized, there are small changes in its dimensions, the phenomenon is called. So, change in dimension due to magnetic field is nothing but magnetostriction. So, C is the correct answer for this question, right. Now, this is a numerical based question. In a ferromagnetic material, okay, iron oxide material actually, we should calculate saturation magnetization. Saturation magnetization is equal to number of atoms per unit volume, okay, into, okay, dipole moment actually. Dipole moment we should consider, right. So, number of atoms you can take here, see number of atoms you can take here 8 molecules are there instead of atoms, 8 iron atoms you can take, right. Volume you can take, this is in nanometer, okay. So, that 0.839 into 10 power minus 9 meter whole cube, like that 4 cells are there in the 1 unit iron oxide cell, into dipole moment 9.27 into 10 power minus 24. By solving this question you will get the answer, by solving this question you will get the answer, this one 5 into 10 power 5 ampere per meter, okay. Now, next question, it is the question related to Fermi level. In this question, not correct statement, out of these 4 statements which is not correct. See, third statement is not correct because the magnitude of Fermi level decreases with the number of electrons per unit volume. So, it is absolutely wrong. So, C is the correct answer for this question. C is the correct answer for this question, right. Now, electrons are emitted with 0 velocity for certain metal surface. For C is given velocity of light 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second, A is given 10 into 10 power minus 10 meter, and exposed to lambda is given. Threshold frequency they are asking. So, frequency is nothing but C by lambda, that is 3 into 10 power 8 divided by 6800 into 10 power minus 10 meters. So, by solving this you will get the nearly this answer 4.4 into 10 power minus 14, sorry, plus 14 H you will get the answer, simple question, right. Now, the question, the material which possesses permanent magnetic moment in the absence of external field. So, which material is having permanent magnetic moment in the absence of external field? Ferromagnetic material. So, C is the, sorry, ferri, that is not, ferro and ferri both, okay, but out of these two you can go with both manifest very large and permanent magnetization. So, external field and very large you can say, okay, and manifest very large. So, most appropriate answer for this question is A, it is not C. You can also take C, C is also a permanent magnet, but very large permanent magnet is also present in ferromagnet. Now, the magnetic inductance becomes 0 inside a superconductor when it is cooled below critical temperature in a weak external field. The magnetic flux is expelled from interior of the superconductor. This effect is called Meissner effect. So, this is the B is the correct answer for this question, right. Now, here theoretical density formula is given, and what is the value of Na? Na represent Avogadro's number, simple question. And they are asking packing fraction of FCC. The packing fraction of FCC is 0.74, but 0.74 is not there. So, nearest answer I am taking 0.75. So, C is the correct answer for this question. right. So, these are the questions related to the electrical materials. So, here there may be some of the questions are missing, but we will upload the key soon, right. We will go through the key and with the detailed solutions we will upload in the website. Thank you.